My sister stopped calling me after Mom's death. I learned she blamed herself for not being there in her final moments. I couldn't understand why my sister stopped calling me after our mom's death, until I discovered she blamed herself for not being there in her final moments, carrying a guilt that isolated her from our family. I'm Noah, a 34-year-old software developer in Seattle, Washington, where my family had always been close, despite the distances life created. My sister, Hannah, was my rock after Mom's passing in early 2024, but by late 2024, her calls stopped, leaving me, our dad, her best friend, and even a nurse who'd cared for Mom grappling with her silence. In September 2025, a conversation with that nurse revealed Hannah's secret, pulling us into a journey of healing, forgiveness, and reconnection. Seattle was a city of gray skies and tech buzz. My apartment in Capitol Hill, a small space filled with code-filled screens. The Space Needle, a distant silhouette through my window. The air often damp with rain. Mom, Eleanor, had been a high school teacher, her warmth a magnet for everyone, her blonde hair always in a loose bun, her laughter, a memory I clung to after her battle with pancreatic cancer ended at 58. Dad, Michael, 60, was a history professor at the University of Washington. His glasses always smudged, his quiet grief a heavy presence in our weekly dinners, his love for Mom a silent ache we all shared. Hannah, 31, was a freelance journalist based in Portland, Oregon. Her fiery spirit a contrast to my steady nature. Her dark hair always in a braid. Her calls a lifeline after Mom's death until they stopped. Those calls had been our ritual every Sunday. Hannah would call her voice a mix of grief and determination. Her stories about Mom a way to keep her alive, our shared tears a bond that held us together. We'd talk about Mom's favorite recipes, her love for gardening, her silly habit of singing off-key to Beatles songs, the memories a bridge between us, a way to navigate our loss. Dad would join sometimes, his voice soft through the speaker, his stories of Mom's classroom antics a comfort, a family holding on to each other. But in late 2024, Hannah's calls dwindled, her texts short, her excuses vague work, deadlines, travel, a cold. Her voice strained when I reached out, a distance I couldn't understand. "I'll call soon, Noah," she'd say, her tone hollow, a promise she didn't keep, leaving our Sundays silent, a void that echoed Mom's absence. I'd call Hannah, my voice light but worried, the Seattle rain tapping my window, my apartment quiet except for the hum of my laptop, my hands gripping my phone as I paced, the evening light fading. "Hannah, you okay?" I'd ask. My tone gentle, my heart sinking with each missed call. She'd answer sometimes, her voice distant, a contrast to her usual fire. "I'm fine, Noah, just busy," she'd say, her excuses piling up, her silence a wall I couldn't breach. Dad noticed too, his hands pausing over his coffee mug at our weekly dinner, his voice soft with concern, his glasses fogging slightly, his worry a weight we shared. "Hannah's not herself, Noah," he'd say, his eyes on me, searching for answers. "She hasn't called me either, something's wrong," I nodded, my throat tight, my voice uncertain. "I'll keep trying, Dad," I said, but I wasn't sure where to start. Hannah's best friend, Lauren, a graphic designer in Portland, felt the shift too. Her texts to me filled with worry, her voice sharp when we talked, the Portland art scene a faint buzz in the background, her studio a world away. "Noah, Hannah's shutting me out," she said, her tone heavy, her concern mirroring mine. "She won't even meet for coffee. She says she's fine, but I know she's not. What's going on?" I didn't have answers, but the distance was tearing at us. A fracture in our family I couldn't bear. A grief we were meant to share now pulling us apart. I remembered a nurse, Jessica, who'd cared for Mom in her final days at the hospital. Her kind eyes a comfort during those hard weeks, her updates a lifeline when Hannah and I couldn't be there. Jessica had stayed in touch, her occasional emails a gentle check-in, her role in Mom's care a connection I hadn't explored until now. In September 2025, I decided to reach out to Jessica, hoping she might know something. Her perspective as Mom's nurse, a window into Hannah's silence. Her email, a quick reply to my message. Her voice warm when we spoke, the Seattle morning gray around me, the hospital noise, a faint hum through her phone. "Jessica, I need to ask about Hannah, I said, my voice steady, my hands on my laptop, the screen open to a photo of Mom, Hannah, and me at her last birthday. A memory that stung. She stopped calling since Mom died. I'm worried, and I think it's tied to those final days. Do you know anything? Her voice softened, her words careful but heavy. A truth she'd been holding for Hannah's sake. Her role in Mom's care giving her a clarity I lacked. Noah, it's about the day your mom passed, she said, her tone gentle, her hands likely on a chart as she spoke, her nurse's calm a contrast to my racing heart. Hannah was supposed to be there, Eleanor asked for her, wanted to say goodbye. But Hannah got stuck in traffic, a big accident on the freeway, and she didn't make it in time. I was with Eleanor when she passed. She was peaceful, but Hannah arrived just after, and she broke down, blamed herself for not being there, for letting your mom down. She hasn't told you because she's ashamed. Thinks you'll blame her too. That's why she's been distant. I sat there, stunned, my breath catching, my hands trembling as her words sank in. The image of Hannah strong, fierce Hannah sobbing in the hospital, carrying that guilt, isolating herself to protect me from her pain. I remembered that day, February 3, 2024, the call from Jessica, the drive to the hospital, the emptiness of Mom's room, Hannah already there, her eyes red, her silence heavy. A detail I'd chalked up to grief, now a clue to her guilt. Why didn't she tell me? I asked, my voice breaking, my eyes on the photo, needing to understand, the Seattle rain a soft rhythm outside. I wouldn't blame her, it wasn't her fault. Jessica sighed, her voice gentle, her care for our family a constant, her role in Mom's final moments a bridge to the truth. Hannah's always been hard on herself, Noah, she said, her tone sad. She felt she failed your mom, failed you, she couldn't face you, thinking you'd see her guilt, her shame. She's been grieving alone, trying to protect you. I hung up with a heavy heart, my mind racing, my guilt mixing with love as I realized how much Hannah had been carrying, how her self-blame had stolen her from us. A grief we were meant to share now splitting us apart. I thought of those Sunday calls, the way she'd laugh through her tears, the way she'd promised to keep Mom's garden alive, a bond now broken by her silence, a pain I needed to heal. I knew I had to talk to her, to show her I didn't blame her, that I loved her, but I needed to tell Dad and Lauren first, to bring them into this, to face it as a family. I went to Dad's house that evening, the familiar scent of old books and coffee filling his study, his glasses on the table, his face turning to me as I sat, my hands clasped, my voice steady but thick with emotion. Dad, I found out why Hannah's been distant, I said, my eyes on him, his concern immediate, his hands stilling on a stack of papers, his grief a quiet undercurrent. She blames herself for not being there when Mom died. There was an accident on the freeway. She got stuck, and Mom passed before she arrived. She thinks we'll blame her. That's why she stopped calling. Dad's eyes filled with tears, his hand covering his mouth, his voice soft, his love for Hannah a quiet force. Oh, my girl, he said, his glasses fogging, his pain a mirror to mine. She should have told us we'd never blame her. We need to bring her back, Noah. I called Lauren that night, my voice trembling as I spoke. The Seattle night dark around my apartment. The city lights a faint glow outside, my heart racing as I paced, my phone warm in my hand. Lauren, Hannah's been distant because she blames herself for missing Mom's final moments, I said, my words spilling out, my worry a flood I couldn't hold back. She got stuck in traffic, didn't make it in time, she's ashamed, thinks we'll judge her. We need to help her. Lauren's silence was heavy, her voice breaking when she spoke, her shock clear, her studio a world away. God, Noah, she said, her tone raw, her pain a mirror to mine. I knew she was struggling, but not this. I should have pushed harder. Let's bring her home, together. I knew reaching Hannah wouldn't be easy, her. Guilt was a wall we'd need to break through. But I felt the strength of our family and friends behind me, a united front ready to pull her back into the fold, to show her that love doesn't blame, only heals. I just discovered that my sister Hannah stopped calling me after our mom's death in 2024 because she blamed herself for not being there in her final moments, a guilt that had isolated her from our family. I'm Noah, a 34-year-old software developer in Seattle, Washington, and after Mom's nurse, Jessica, revealed Hannah's secret in September 2025, I shared the truth with our dad. Michael and Hannah's best friend, Lauren, determined to show Hannah we didn't blame her. Now, I wanted to reach Hannah, help her release her guilt, and bring her back into our family with the support of Dad, Lauren, and Jessica, hoping to heal the rift her silence had created. The day after talking to Lauren, I drove to Portland, a 3-hour trip from Seattle, my heart pounding, the Pacific Northwest rain, a steady drum against my windshield, my hands gripping the steering wheel as I rehearsed what I'd say, the I-5 highway a blur of green and gray. Hannah's apartment was in the Pearl District, a trendy area with cobblestone streets and art galleries, her building a modern loft with big windows, her name on the buzzer a reminder of the sister I'd lost to her guilt. I buzzed, my breath uneven, my laptop bag slung over my shoulder, the scent of wet pavement mixing with coffee from a nearby cafe. Hannah answered the door, her dark braid loose, her freelance journalist's hoodie oversized, her eyes widening with shock, then softening with a forced smile, her voice tight. "Noah? What are you doing here?" she asked, her hands fidgeting, a nervousness I hadn't seen in her before, a wall I needed to break through. I stepped inside, her apartment sparse but cozy, the walls lined with photos of her travels, a framed picture of Mom on the shelf, her absence a silent presence in the room. "Hannah, we need to talk," I said, my voice steady, my hands clasped as I sat on her couch, the cushions soft, a notebook of her articles on the coffee table, a sign of the life she'd been hiding from me. "Jessica told me what happened the day Mom died about the traffic, how you didn't make it in time, how you blame yourself. I told Dad and Lauren, we don't blame you, Hannah, we love you, and we've missed you." Her face crumpled, her hands covering her eyes, her body sinking into the chair across from me, her voice breaking as tears streamed down her face, a guilt she'd carried for over a year spilling out. "I failed her, Noah," she said, her voice raw, her hands trembling, her eyes on the floor, pain etched in every line, her braid falling over her shoulder as she spoke. "Mom asked for Mesh wanted me there, and I wasn't. I got stuck in traffic, a stupid accident on the freeway, and by the time I got to the hospital, she was gone. I saw her lying there, so still, and I couldn't forgive myself. I thought you'd hate me, that Dad would hate me. I couldn't face you, couldn't call, couldn't hear Mom's name without feeling like I let her down. I moved to her side, my arms around her, tears streaming down my face as I hugged her, my voice thick with emotion. My love for her a lifeline I needed her to feel. You didn't fail her, Hannah, I said, my words muffled against her shoulder, my hands tight on her back. It wasn't your fault traffic accidents. They happen. Mom loved you and she wouldn't want you to carry this. I don't blame you, Dad doesn't blame you, we just want you back. She hugged me back, her sobs loud, her hands gripping my shirt, a release I could feel, a guilt she'd held too long starting to crack under the weight of my words. I've been so lost, Noah, she whispered, her voice hoarse, her eyes wet as she pulled back, her gaze meeting mine, searching for forgiveness, her pain a mirror to my own grief. I thought if I stayed away, I wouldn't hurt you more. I thought you'd be better without me, without my failure. I shook my head, my hand on hers, my voice firm, my eyes steady. We're not better without you, I said, my heart open, my love fierce. We're a family, we need you, Hannah. Mom would want us together, not apart. Let us help you through this. I called Dad, putting him on speaker, needing him to be part of this, to show Hannah the family support she'd feared losing. The Seattle campus noise faint through his phone as he answered, his voice eager, his history professor's calm a comfort. Hannah, Noah told me what happened, Dad said, his tone steady, his love clear, the sound of students in the background a world away. I don't blame you, sweetheart, none of us do. Your mom loved you so much and she'd hate to see you hurting like this. Come home to us, please, I've missed your voice. Hannah's tears fell harder, her hand covering her mouth, her voice breaking as she spoke, her father's words a balm to her wounds. Dad, I'm so sorry, she said, her eyes on the phone, her gratitude raw, her braids slipping as she wiped her face. I didn't know I thought you'd hate me. I've missed you too. Lauren arrived later, her graphic designer's portfolio under her arm, her face a mix of worry and relief as she stepped into Hannah's apartment. Her arms immediately around her best friend, her voice soft, her dark hair tied back. Her love a quiet force. "Hannah, I wish you'd told me," she said, her eyes wet, her hands on Hannah's shoulders, her friendship a rock Hannah could lean on. "You don't have to carry this alone. I'm here, Noah's here, your dad's here. We love you, no matter what." Hannah nodded, her smile shaky, her voice thick as she spoke, a promise I felt in my bones. "I'll try, Lauren," she said, her eyes on her, then on me. A family and friend circle she was starting to trust again, a step toward healing I could feel. I wanted to help Hannah let go of her guilt, to honor Mom's memory together, so I suggested we visit Mom's garden at Dad's house, a small plot she'd loved, where she'd planted tulips and lavender. A place we could feel her presence without the weight of that hospital room. "We can go this weekend, just the three of us," I said, my voice gentle, my hands on hers as we sat at her table. The photo of Mom on the shelf, a quiet reminder, the Portland dusk settling outside. The city lights a faint glow. We'll plan something new for her. Talk about her make new memories, not just the painful ones. Hannah hesitated, her breath uneven, her eyes on the photo, but she nodded. Her voice quiet but resolute. "Okay, Noah," she said, her hand squeezing mine, a trust I cherished. "I'd like that I want to feel her again, without the guilt." I also reached out to Jessica, wanting her to know we'd found Hannah, to thank her for her honesty, her voice warm when I called, the hospital noise a faint hum in the background, her care for our family a constant, her role in Mom's final days a bridge to this moment. "Jessica, we talked to Hannah, she knows we don't blame her," I said, my voice steady, my apartment quiet around me, the Seattle rain a soft rhythm outside, the night dark around me. "We're going to Mom's garden this weekend, what do you think? How can we help her heal?" Her voice softened, her wisdom clear, her experience a guide I trusted. "That's a beautiful idea, Noah," she said, her tone reassuring. "Let her talk. Let her cry, share your own memories of your mom. Show her she's not alone in her grief. It'll take time, but being together, honoring Eleanor, that's how you'll heal." I planned to keep Hannah close, to call her every Sunday again, to rebuild our ritual, to ensure she never felt alone with her grief, a family ready to heal together. A sister I was determined to bring back into the fold, one memory at a time. If Noah's effort to help his sister release her guilt touches you, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, would you support a loved one through a guilt like this? I need to hear your thoughts. I'd been working to bring my sister Hannah back into our family after learning she'd stopped calling since our mom's death in 2024, consumed by guilt for not being there in her final moments. I'm Noah, a 34-year-old software developer in Seattle, Washington, and by September 2025, I'd confronted Hannah in Portland, showing her that me, our dad Michael, and her best friend Lauren didn't blame her. Now, I wanted to help Hannah release her guilt by honoring Mom's memory together, starting with a visit to Mom's garden, and to rebuild our family connection with the support of Dad, Lauren, and Jessica, the nurse who'd cared for Mom. The weekend arrived, a crisp September day, the Seattle air cool with the scent of pine and damp earth, the drive to Dad's house in the University District quiet, Hannah beside me in the passenger seat, her dark braid tight, her hands clasped in her lap, her silence heavy but her presence a step forward I cherished. Dad's house was a craftsman with a wide porch, the garden in the backyard, a small haven Mom had loved, her tulips and lavender still blooming despite the years, a testament to her care. A place where we could feel her without the weight of that hospital room. Dad was waiting, his glasses smudged, his gray sweater familiar, his arms open as he hugged Hannah, his voice soft, his love a quiet force. "I'm so glad you're here, sweetheart," he said, his eyes wet, his hands on her shoulders, his history professor's calm, a comfort we needed. Hannah stepped into the garden, her breath catching, her hands brushing the lavender, her eyes on the tulips, their yellow petals a burst of Mom's joy, a memory that brought tears to her eyes, a grief she was finally sharing. "She loved this place," Hannah said, her voice breaking, her fingers on the petals, her braid catching the sunlight, her guilt a shadow I wanted to lift. I nodded, my hand on her shoulder, my voice gentle, my own tears falling as I spoke. the scent of earth grounding us. "She did, Hannah," I said, my eyes on the garden, then on her, my heart full. "And she loved you, she'd want you here with us. Remembering her like this, not blaming yourself." Dad knelt beside us, his hands in the soil, his voice steady, his glasses fogging as he spoke. His love for Mom a bridge between us. "Your mom was proud of you, Hannah," he said, his eyes on her. His smile small but real. "She'd never blame you, she'd want you to be happy, to be with us." We planted a new lavender bush, a small act to honor Mom, the three of us working together, our hands in the dirt, our laughter soft as we shared stories, Mom's terrible attempt at baking cookies, her habit of naming every plant, her off-key rendition of Hey Jude that always made us laugh. Hannah smiled through her tears, her voice trembling as she spoke, her hands on the soil, her guilt easing with each memory we shared, a healing I could feel. "I miss her so much, Noah," she said, her eyes on the lavender, her braids slipping as she wiped her face, her vulnerability a gift I cherished. "I thought I'd failed her, but being here with you and Dad, it feels like she's still with us." I hugged her, my throat tight, my voice thick, my love for her fierce. "She is, Hannah," I said, my arms around her, Dad's hand on her back, a family moment I'd never forget. "She's in this garden. In us, she'd want you to forgive yourself." I wanted to keep this connection alive, to rebuild our Sunday calls. So I suggested we make it a ritual again, a way to stay close, to share our grief and our joy, a promise to never let guilt pull us apart. "Let's call every Sunday, Hannah," I said, my voice steady, my hands on the gardening tools as we finished. The Seattle sky a soft gray above, the garden a sanctuary of Mom's love. Just us, like before Dad can join too. "We'll talk about Mom, about anything. No more silence, okay?" Hannah nodded, her smile wider, her voice firm, her hands on the new lavender bush, a promise I felt in my bones. "I'd like that, Noah," she said, her eyes on me, then on Dad, a family she was ready to rejoin, a step toward healing I celebrated silently. Lauren came over later, her graphic designer's eye noticing the garden's beauty, her arms around Hannah the moment she arrived, her voice warm, her dark hair tied back, her friendship a light in Hannah's life. "This place is perfect, Hannah," she said, her eyes on the tulips, her smile bright, her hands on a sketchbook she'd brought, a gift for Hannah, a drawing of Mom in the garden, a memory she'd captured from photos, a gesture that brought fresh tears to Hannah's eyes. "Lauren, it's beautiful," Hannah said, her voice breaking, her hands on the sketch, her gratitude raw, her braid catching the light as she hugged her friend. A bond I was grateful for, a support we needed. I reached out to Jessica, wanting her perspective on Hannah's healing. Knowing her role in Mom's final days gave her insight we could use, her voice warm when I called. The hospital noise, a faint hum in the background, her care for our family a constant, her role a bridge to Mom's memory. "Jessica, we took Hannah to Mom's garden," I said, my voice steady, my apartment quiet around me, the Seattle rain a soft rhythm outside, the evening light fading. "She's opening up, letting go of some guilt. What else can we do to help her?" Her voice softened, her wisdom clear, her experience a guide I trusted. "You're doing wonderfully, Noah," she said, her tone reassuring. "Keep creating those shared moments. Talk about your mom. Let Hannah express her feelings. Maybe write letters to Eleanor together, things she wishes she could say. It'll help her process the guilt, turn it into love." I took Jessica's advice, suggesting to Hannah that we write letters to Mom, a private act to express what we couldn't say, a way to release the pain and hold on to the love, her voice thoughtful when I mentioned it. The Seattle dusk settling outside Dad's window, the garden a soft glow in the fading light. "I think I'd like that, Noah," she said, her hands on the sketch Lauren had given her, her smile small but real, her braids slipping as she nodded, a willingness I celebrated, a sign she was ready to heal, not just for us, but for herself. Dad agreed, his voice soft, his glasses fogging as he spoke, his hands on a photo of Mom, his love a constant. "We'll do it together," he said, his eyes on us, his smile warm, a family ready to face the grief as a unit, a promise I held close. I also encouraged Hannah to spend more time with Lauren, to rebuild their friendship. Knowing Lauren's support was a lifeline for her, her voice warm when I suggested it. The Portland skyline, a faint glow outside Hannah's window as we talked later. Her apartment, a sanctuary of her own now. "I'll call her tomorrow, Noah," she said, her hands on her coffee mug, her smile brighter, her freelance journalist's spirit returning, a spark I'd missed. "I've missed her. I want to be there for her too, like she's been for me." I nodded, my gratitude for Lauren a warmth I carried, her role in Hannah's life a gift I appreciated, a friend who'd never wavered, a support we needed. Dad started joining our Sunday calls, his voice a comfort through the speaker, his stories of Mom a thread that tied us together, the Seattle rain a backdrop to our laughter, our tears, a family healing through shared memories, a sister I was bringing back, one call at a time. I felt a peace I hadn't in years, a connection reborn, a grief we were finally sharing, a love that was stronger than guilt, a family ready to move forward, together. I'd been helping my sister, Hannah, release the guilt that kept her from our family after our mom's death in 2024, a guilt born from missing Mom's final moments due to a traffic accident. I'm Noah, a 34-year-old software developer in Seattle, Washington, and by September 2025, we'd started healing together, visiting Mom's garden, writing letters to her, and restarting our Sunday calls with Hannah, our dad Michael, and support from her best friend Lauren and Mom's nurse Jessica. Now, I wanted to ensure Hannah felt fully reconnected, to continue honoring Mom's memory, and to strengthen our family and friend circle, showing Hannah that our love for her could overcome any guilt, with Lauren, Dad, and even new traditions to keep us close. The weeks after the garden visit brought a quiet rhythm to our family, the Seattle fall deepening, the air sharp with the scent of rain and cedar, the city's gray skies a backdrop to our healing. Hannah's Sunday calls became a cherished ritual again, her voice brighter each week, her dark braid visible through FaceTime, her Portland apartment, a cozy frame as she shared stories, her freelance journalist spirit returning, a spark I'd missed. Dad joined every call, his glasses fogging as he laughed, his history professor's stories of Mom a thread that tied us together, his quiet grief easing with each shared memory, a family finding its way back to joy. "I made Mom's lasagna recipe last night," Hannah said one Sunday, her smile wide, her hands on a cookbook Mom had loved, her eyes crinkling, a warmth I felt through the screen. I nodded, my throat tight, my voice thick, my love for her fierce. "She'd be so proud, Hannah," I said, my Seattle apartment warm around me, the rain a soft rhythm outside, a connection I'd fought to reclaim. I planned a small gathering at Dad's house for Mom's birthday in October, a way to honor her memory together, to show Hannah she belonged with us, a celebration of Mom's life rather than her loss, a step toward healing I knew we needed. I texted Hannah, my voice steady through the message, my hands on my laptop, the Seattle morning gray around me, my code-filled screens a contrast to the warmth I wanted to create. "Let's celebrate Mom's birthday at Dad's, Hannah," I wrote, my tone gentle, my heart hopeful. "Just us, Lauren. Maybe a few of Mom's old friends bring her lasagna. We'll make it a night she'd love." Her reply came quickly, her words a promise I held close. "I'm in, Noah lasagna and all," she wrote, a heart emoji at the end, a sign she was ready, a joy I felt in my bones. The night of the gathering, Dad's house glowed with warmth, fairy lights strung across the garden, the dining table set with Mom's favorite dishes: lasagna, garlic bread, a salad with her homemade dressing, the air filled with the scent of herbs, the sound of soft music Mom had loved, Beatles tunes playing low. Hannah arrived with Lauren, her dark braid loose, her arms carrying a tray of lasagna, her smile genuine as she hugged Dad, her voice steady, her freelance journalist confidence returning. "It smells like Mom in here," she said, her eyes on the table, her hands on the tray, her gratitude a warmth I could feel. Dad hugged her back, his glasses fogging, his voice soft, his gray sweater a familiar comfort. "You did her proud, Hannah," he said, his eyes wet, his smile wide, his love a constant, a family moment I cherished. Lauren set up a small display of photos, her graphic designer's eye creating a collage of Mom teaching in her classroom, gardening with us, laughing at a family picnic tribute that brought tears to our eyes. Her dark hair tied back, her voice warm as she spoke, her hands on the display, her friendship a light in Hannah's life. Eleanor was amazing, Lauren said, her eyes on Hannah, her smile bright, her care for our family clear, a support we needed. I invited 2 of Mom's old friends, Susan and David, teachers who'd known her for years. Their stories of Mom's classroom antics, a melody we all needed, their laughter a reminder of the joy she'd brought, a celebration she'd have loved. We ate together, the table alive with chatter, Hannah's lasagna a hit, her smile wide as she shared a story of Mom teaching her to cook, her voice steady, her guilt a fading shadow in the glow of our love. She'd burn the garlic bread every time, Hannah said, her eyes crinkling, her braid catching the light, her laugh a sound I'd missed, a healing I could feel. Dad nodded, his hands on a glass of wine, his voice soft, his glasses fogging as he spoke, his memory a gift. She'd laugh about it, say it was extra crispy, he said, his smile warm, his eyes on Hannah, his pride clear, a father and daughter reconnecting through shared grief, shared love. I suggested we read our letters to Mom aloud, a private act turned communal, a way to release the last of Hannah's guilt, to honor Mom's memory as a family, my voice gentle as I spoke. My hands on the letter I'd written, the room quiet, the music, a soft backdrop. Let's share what we wrote to Mom, I said. My eyes on Hannah, then on Dad, Lauren, Susan, David, a circle of love around us. The garden lights a soft glow outside. The night cool with fall. It'll be hard, but I think she'd want to hear us, to know we're okay. Hannah nodded, her hands trembling as she unfolded her letter, her voice breaking as she read, her words a release I could feel, her braid slipping as she spoke, her tears falling freely. Mom, I'm so sorry I wasn't there when you left. She read, her voice raw, her eyes on the paper, her hands shaking, her guilt spilling out, a confession she needed to make. I wanted to hold your hand, to tell you I love you one more time, but I failed you. I've carried that every day, but Noah and Dad, they've shown me you'd forgive me, that you'd want me to live, to love, to be with them. I miss you, but I'm trying to let go of the guilt, to hold on to your love instead. She looked up, her eyes meeting mine, then Dad's, her smile shaky but real, her voice thick. I love you, Mom, she said, her hands on the letter, her healing a moment I'd never forget. I read mine next, my words about missing Mom's laughter, my gratitude for Hannah, my voice breaking as I spoke, Dad's hand on mine, a family sharing their grief, turning it into love. I wanted to keep Hannah close, to make new traditions with her. So I suggested a monthly dinner at Dad's, a way to stay connected, to honor Mom through food and family, a rhythm we could rely on, a promise to never let silence pull us apart again. What do you think, Hannah? I asked, my voice steady, my hands on the table as we cleared the dishes, the gathering winding down, the Seattle night quiet outside, the garden a soft glow in the darkness. Once a month, we'll cook Mom's recipes, share stories no more distance, just us. Hannah nodded, her smile wider, her voice firm, her hands on a dish, a commitment I felt in my bones. I'd love that, Noah, she said, her eyes on me, then on Dad, Lauren, a family she was fully part of again, a step toward healing I celebrated. Lauren started joining our Sunday calls, her voice a bright addition, her stories of Hannah's college days, a laughter we needed, her friendship a steady force, her presence a gift I appreciated, a support we'd always welcome. Jessica checked in, her voice warm when I updated her, the hospital noise, a faint hum in the background, her care for our family, a constant, her role in Mom's final days, a bridge to this moment. You've done so much for Hannah, Noah, she said, her tone reassuring, her wisdom a guide I trusted. She's lucky to have you keep those traditions, keep talking about your mom. It's how you'll all heal. I nodded, my gratitude for Jessica a warmth I carried, her words a reminder of the journey we'd taken, a family stronger for it. I called my girlfriend Clara, not the same Clara from previous stories, but my Clara, a librarian in Saddle-leaning to share this journey, my voice trembling with emotion as I spoke. The Seattle night quiet around my apartment. The city lights a faint glow outside. The rain a soft rhythm against my window. Clara, Hannah's back with us, I said, my words rushing out, a mix of joy and relief, my hands on my phone, my heart full. We celebrated Mom's birthday. She's healing, we're healing. Clara's voice was warm, her support a comfort across the line, her love for me a light in my life. That's beautiful, Noah, she said, her tone steady, her care for my family clear. I can't wait to meet Hannah, to see your mom's garden. I'm so proud of you. I smiled, my heart full, knowing she'd fit right in, another piece of my world coming together. What would you do if a loved one's guilt kept them from your family? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Update. 1 month later. A month later, Hannah's joined every Sunday call, her laughter a regular sound again, her guilt fading with each shared memory of Mom. We've had our first monthly dinner at Dad's, cooking Mom's recipes. Lauren joining us. The table alive with stories. A family whole again. Update. 3 months later. 3 months on, Hannah's writing again. Her journalism career thriving. Her confidence back. She hosted a dinner in Portland. Her lasagna a hit. Dad and I driving down. Lauren bringing a new collage of Mom's photos. Our traditions growing, our bonds stronger than ever. Update. 6 months later. 6 months later, Hannah's guilt is a memory. Her smile brighter than I've seen since Mom passed. We've planted a new garden in Portland, a sister to Mom's, and our monthly dinners and Sunday calls are a lifeline we all cherish, a family healed through love, stronger than before. If you enjoyed this story of a family healing through shared grief and love, subscribe and hit the bell for more Reddit dramas. How would you help a loved one overcome their guilt? Let me know in the comments.